So I really like graphing the polynomials. It's sort of like doodling in math class because you don't graph a whole lot of points really specifically. You just graph like some of them and then the rest of it is like, yeah, good enough. All right, so some characteristics. We got to get through like the vocabulary here. Characteristics of polynomials. They are continuous, smooth curves. So do you remember when we did the piecewise functions and it was like removable or non-removable? None of that. They are continuous, all of them. Like by definition, they are continuous. A nice smooth curve. There's no jaggedy edges. They have all these like turns and bends in them, but basically polynomials are agreeable functions. Like everything's pretty much cool with them. Okay. An even degree means that the ends go the same direction. And let's review what degree means. Degree is the highest power. It's sort of like who's in charge here. So whatever is the highest exponent, that's the degree. Do you remember that from last year? These are actually the Algebra 2 notes. I just sort of like shortened it and combined some stuff together because it, oh, does it say Algebra 2? See, look, I even copy and pasted it. I did change some things, but it's the information's not different. All right, so even degree means the ends go the same direction. Odd degree means the ends go opposite directions. So even the same odd opposite, that's convenient as far as the alphabet is concerned. Odd means opposite. So that's nice. Your least possible degree is the terms plus 1. It's how many bends you have in the graph plus 1. So for example, if you had 4 bends in the graph, the degree could be 5. It could also be 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 14 billion, but like the smallest one would be 5. If there were 7 bends in the graph, what could the degree be? 8 or 9 or 10 or 15,000. Okay, but like it's the least possible one. If your leading coefficient is positive, the leading coefficient is the coefficient that's with the degree. Again, it's the who's in charge here one. If that's positive, the right side goes up. And if the leading coefficient is negative, the right side goes down. Now that makes sense, positive up, negative down. The only thing is, it's the right side. So you kind of have to graph these right to left, which we do everything else in our lives, left to right. So it is a teensy bit backwards. Usually it goes okay though, it's just pattern finding, okay? So let's answer some questions about this graph right here. And yes, these should be arrows on the ends of that if you want to throw some arrows on going forever. So what do you guys think? Is the degree even or odd? Even is correct. Why is that? Go in the same direction. What is the least possible degree? You're going to count up the turns and then add 1. So let's point to them. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Add 1, 6. Please listen to this for the love of my sanity. If you say it should be even, this should be an even number. I get all the time, people will say even and then put 7. And I'm like, did you read what you wrote on the page? Like work with me, it should make sense, okay? And then is the leading coefficient positive or negative? You look at the right side, it's going down, so negative. Now let's look at our patterns for the multiplicity. Multiplicity just means the power for that factor. Okay, so if you have like x plus 2 to the whatever, that whatever is the multiplicity. So if you have a multiplicity of 1, do you remember what the graph does? If not, I'm going to tell you, just want to see. It goes through. It's just going to cross straight through like a line. Okay? A power of 1 means linear. It's going to be like a line. It's going to cross straight through the x-axis. That we're talking about the x-intercept specifically. What is the multiplicity or a power of 2 going to do? We call that a bounce, for lack of a better word, but it's going to be like a parabola. Quadratic is squared. It's a power of 2. And then a power of 3. Yeah, I call it a wiggle, squiggle. I don't know. It's going to be like a cubic. It's going to do something like that. So like it bends and then it bends again. We don't do powers beyond that. But just for your reference, all the even ones are gonna bounce. Like if you have it to the 4th or the 6th or the 8th, do you get what I'm saying? Put the phones away so you know what I'm talking about. All right, so let's go ahead and graph these. The only points you're gonna plot specifically are the x-intercepts. I'll tell you the first one, then I'm gonna ask you the second one. The first one's gonna be at 4. And the reason for that is 4 minus 4, 0. You're looking for the zeros. All right, so right there. I'm gonna ask you guys this one. What is the other one gonna be? 1, good. Because 1 minus 1 is 0. Now you have to graph right to left. That's the only thing that's slightly uncomfortable about these is you have to start on the right side. So if you're left-handed, this is your thing, okay? Now is the right side gonna go up or down? Well, do you see a negative out front here? No, so the right side's gonna go up, and I usually just put a little arrow. Maybe watch me do this and then copy it down. You're basically just gonna start here, connect to these points, and just do whatever the power says. So when I get to the 4, hey guys, that comes from the factor with the 4 in it, okay? What's the power on that one? 2, it's squared, so we're gonna do like a quadratic. It's gonna be like that. And then when I connect to the 1, hey guys, that's from the factor that has the 1 in it. I always mention that because they could be written in whatever order. It's going to cross. Why is that? It's a 1, right? If nothing's written, like that's understood to be a 1, so it's just going to go straight through. That's it. Now, I usually get asked, how far up does this go? No idea. None at all. I don't know what it looks like. The only points we're plotting specifically are these two. The rest of it's like whatever. So if you like to doodle, this is your thing. I love graphing these. All right, let's try another one. What are the x-intercepts? Where can I put zeros for this one? -3, good. +2. It's just going to be the opposite of what's there because it's what makes it 0. Is the right side going up or down? Down, because there's a negative. So it will be like this. And again, the only thing that's kind of uncomfortable is you have to go right to left. So I'm going to connect from this arrow to each of the points, just do what it says. So when I get to the 2, hey guys, that's from the factor with the 2 in it. All right, and I keep mentioning that because these could be in whatever order. Now there's nothing written. What does that mean we're going to do? Cross, just go straight through. And then at the -3, that power is cubed. So you're going to treat it like a cubic. It's going to wiggle. So something like this. Now I always get somebody that's like, I can't draw a wiggle. Here's my response. Try, like make an effort to get it to bend, but then just write wiggle next to it and I will totally give credit for that. I'm not here to grade your art skills. All right, but just make an attempt. You know, like show that you tried. Is this coming back to us? This is one of my favorite lessons to teach. I love the doodle. All right, let's try another one. You did. It's algebra 2. I even forgot to change this from saying algebra 2. Oh, you did it online though. That's why. All right, let's doodle another one. Where can I put x-intercepts for this one? Yeah, now here's where you have to be really careful because one of them's 3 and one of them's -3. What does the right side do? Gonna go down because of the negative. All right, so look, when we connect to the +3, that came from the x -3. Okay, so look at the power. What are we going to do with that one? Bounce. It's a squared. So like a quadratic, we're going to bounce. And I'm going to pause because I got a little ahead here. And then when you connect to the -3, that came from this one, squiggle, wiggle, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, make an attempt to get it to bend, but if you're just not sure of your picture, if you're unsure about it, just write wiggle next to it and I'll know what you meant. Cute. How far down does this go? Like, what if you drew yours all the way down to here? Is that okay? Yeah. But without a calculator, we have no idea. Now, these ones people tend to like a little better because they don't have to draw a graph. We're going to do that backwards. You're going to write the equation. Now, you can put the factors in whatever order you want, but I'll be happiest if you go right to left because that's how we graph them. But again, it doesn't really matter. So what is the right side doing on this one? It's going down. So that means we need a negative. So I'm going to go right to left. Here I have a 0 at 4. So that means the factor will be x. Good. Minus 4 squared. Y squared. It does a bounce, right? Here's the next one at 1. So I'm going to put x minus 1. Again, it's just the opposite of what you have. And good. Again, squared. This last one won't be. At negative 2. So what will the factor be? X plus 2. And good, it'll just be x plus 2 because it's crossing through. If you want to put the 1 there, you can, but you don't have to. You're just assembling the equation. Again, a lot of people like these better because they don't have to draw a graph. I don't know. I like drawing the graphs. I think they're cute. Little doodles. All right. Do we need a negative in this one? No. You don't have to put a plus. Just don't put anything. Okay. So where's our first x-intercept? 3. So I'm going to put x minus 3. Good. Cubed because it's like wiggly. Wiggle. And then the other one's at negative 4. So I'm going to put x plus 4. And then, yeah, cubed. Oh, this is like one of my favorite lessons. I love this. Yeah. And it's just 1, 2, 3. Like it's just pattern finding. All right. And then this last one, f of x equals. Do I need a negative? Yes. Put a negative. The right side goes down. We have a 0 at 4. That will be x minus 4 to what power? The first. So you can put a 1 or just nothing. Now this one's a little tricky because it's at the origin. There's 2 ways you can do this. You can write x minus 0 if you want. I won't mark that wrong. But what is x minus nothing? It's just x. So it technically should be just x. But if you write minus 0, that's fine. I don't care. And then the power on that one is 2. What's that? X plus 0 would mean the same thing. 0 is neither positive nor negative, so it doesn't make a difference. All right, and then the last one's at negative 2, so that'll be x plus 2. It's just crossing straight through, so you can put a 1 or just nothing. Cool. I love that. That's like my favorite part of the lesson. All right, we'll do a 3-minute mobile device break, and then I'll teach you the division. So for this division, what I would actually like for you to do is just watch me do the first problem, and then I'll pause the video and you can copy it down. But this is like one of those things that's it's actually so quick and easy that if you look away, you're going to miss it. Okay. What you are going to do is look at what is being divided by. Do you see this x minus 2? What makes that 0? What number would make this 0? It's not a trick question. 2. Very good. You're going to put 2 in a little box off to the side. Again, just watch. Because if you look away, you're going to miss this. You will write it down. I will pause the video once I finish this question. So whatever makes that 0 goes in a little box off to the side. Then you're going to steal all the coefficients from the problem. The thing is they have to go in order. So check. Do you see how this is to the 4th and then to the 3rd, to the 2nd, to the 1st, to the nothing? Like there's no x's at all. If one of them's missing, you put in a 0 placeholder, and I have ones on here where we'll have to do that. But right now they're all in order. I'm just going to take all those numbers. 2, negative 6. Oh, what's this one? 1, 5, negative 3. Do you see how I just copied them down? Just don't do a copy error. You're going to draw a line and bring down the first number. I get people that try to start the problem without bringing down a number, and there's nothing there. And I'm like, what are you doing? There has to be a number there. Who here can multiply? Oh, that's right, all of you. Who here can add? Oh, that's right, all of you. If you can multiply and add, you're going to be just fine. You ready? It's multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. Watch. Because if you look away, you will miss this. It is really this easy. 2 times 2. 4. Add that column. What do you get? Good. Now we're going to do it again. 2 times negative 2. You're going to multiply these. Negative 4. Add the column. Good. Do it again. 2 times negative 3. Add the column. And then one more time, 2 times -1, -2, add the column. Go ahead and write it down, and then I'll show you how to write the answer. But that's literally it. That is literally it. You multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. Multiply, add, multiply, add. And hey guys, how many problems did we just do? 1. We're gonna do more. It is learn by repetition kind of thing. You saw 1 problem. Go ahead and write it down. We'll try and we'll do the same thing with the next one. I'll have you set down your pencil and just watch, and then I'll give you a minute to copy it down. This is one of those things. I love teaching stuff like this. I do the first one and everyone's like, what on earth? And I do the second one and then everyone's like, oh, okay, I'll sort of get it. And then by the time I get to the 3rd and 4th one, everyone will be like, leave me alone, I've got it. Like, it's one of those things that just happens very, very quickly. You just listen to me. Now we are dividing. That means whatever you're ending up with is smaller than what you started with. So do you see how this is to the 4th? Hey guys, look, do you see how this is to the 4th? When you go and put the X's back in, you're going to start with 1 less. So you're going to start to watch me do this. It's going to be 2. This is your answer here. It's going to be 2x to the 3rd. And then it's going to go in descending order. So minus 2x squared minus 3x minus 1. Now this is your remainder. And I'm going to show you some vocabulary here in a second. I realize it came out negative. Here's my suggestion to you though. And this is like a personal preference thing. So I guess you can take it or leave it. I always put plus though. Just always I add on the remainder because then it's like, it was just always positive. You don't have to worry about it. And then it's whatever you got over this x minus 2. Basically what you're saying is we were unable to divide out that part. It is the remainder. It's what's left over. And this is your answer. Now I'm going to give you some vocabulary before we do the next one. I'm not going to like quiz you on the vocabulary, but if I say one of these words, you need to know what I'm talking about. Okay. This part, you can laugh if you want, but you still need to know how to do the problems. Okay. So let's try to focus. This part is called the dividend. I don't know if you remember these vocabulary words from like elementary school. When do you divide? My son is in math 5, 6. They're dividing fractions now. So maybe like around there. Dividend. Whatever you're dividing by is called the divisor. Oh, good. Say that louder. This part, good. The answer you get is the quotient. Quotient. And then whatever's left over is the remainder. Product means multiply. We divide it, so it's quotient. Now, the only ones of those words I'll probably use a whole lot are divisor and remainder. But when I say those words, I just want you to know what they mean. I'm not going to put those on the test, okay? But you should know the vocabulary. That went well, so I want us to do that again. Set your pencil down and just watch, and then I'll stop and give you a chance to write it down. Look at the divisor right here. Do you see this? What makes that 0? -1 will go in a little box off to the side. Now you're going to thief all the coefficients from the problem, but they have to go in order. So look, do you see how it's to the 4th and then to the 2nd? What are we missing? We don't have anything to the 3rd. So watch how this works. You have 3x to the 4th. You have none x to the 3rds. -2x squared. 4x to the 1st, and then 8. You can always do a countdown. Look, we're starting at 4. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Plus off. Like if you always just check that. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We're going to multiply, add, multiply, add. You ready? Bring down the first number. You can't do anything unless that's there. All right, multiply. Good. Add -3. Let's do it again. Multiply 3. Because negatives cancel. Add 1. Good. Multiply. -1. Add. Oh, there's a lot of 3s in this one. Multiply. Add. Go ahead and write it down. Sorry, I bumped the camera there. And then you write the answer. It's literally it. I keep the numbers small for you. Do you see how they're little numbers? If you mess up, and usually it's a negative sign, it will start to snowball and the numbers will get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And it always happens on the test. Like someone will end up with numbers that are getting into the thousands. If that happens, you have done goofed somewhere. Like I won't do that to you, okay? Like if it starts to get super outrageous, like go back and find where you dropped a negative because that's what happened. All right, now you start with one less. So this was to the fourth. We're gonna write 3x to the third, good. And then it goes in descending order. So minus 3x squared plus 1x plus 3. And then the remainder just gets tacked on at the end. Basically, you're just saying we were unable to divide this out. So it's going to be 5 over the divisor, which was x plus 1. Let's do one more together. And then maybe I'll just give you one to try because usually this ends up going pretty well. I put a lot of questions on here. All right, look at the divisor, 2x minus 1. What will make that 0? 1/2 goes in a little box off to the side. I know some of you are already internally panicking because that's a fraction, but you're going to be okay. I need to put you're going to be okay on one of my signs as well. Put that up here. Here now. You're going to be okay. Well, you're going to be okay. But you're going to be okay. All right. Check if it's in order. Is our countdown in order? Hey guys, just check. Do you see? Is it in order? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, so just thief all the coefficients. 2, -5, 4, -1, 2, 7. Just steal all the numbers from the problem. Bring down the first one. We're going to multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. All right, what's a half of 2? 1, good. Add the column. Perfect. Half of -4. Good. Add the column. 2. Half of 2 is 1. Add the column. Oh, isn't that nice? A half of 0 is 0. Add the column. You get 2. Half of 2 is 1. Add the column. 8. When you write your answer, you're going to start with 1 less because we divided out. So instead of to the 5th, we're going to start the 4th. 2x to the 4th minus 4x to the 3rd plus 2x to the 2nd plus no x's. So I'm going to skip that one. You can write plus 0x if you want, which is kind of funny because it looks like ox as well. I'm just going to skip it though. No x's plus 2. And then your remainder goes over the divisor, which is what part? The 2x minus 1. Let me just have you guys, let's pick one of the one that's left. Why don't you guys try number 11 with your group around you? I'm going to fill in 10 and 12 so that when I take a picture of this and post it, it's up there. You can try those ones as well, but I'm going to pause the recording. I want you to try number 11.
I like how.
All right, let's see how this went. What'd you put in the little box? -3, good. So let's check our countdown. You have 5, 4, 3. You're missing the 2, so we'll need a 0 there, okay? So it's going to go 1, 2, -2, 0, -4, -5. So if you forgot the 0, just go put it back in. That's a simple thing. So we're going to bring down the 1. All right, watch. We're going to multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. -3 times 1. -3, good. When you add the column, -1, good. Do it again. It's just a process. -3 times -1, 3, add the column, 1. -3 times 1. -3, add, you get -3. -3 times -3 will be 9. Add the column, you get 5. -15, -20. Now, when you go to write the answer, you start with 1 less. Good. So this is going to be 1x to the 4th minus x to the third, plus x to the second, minus 3x plus 5. And oh, good. I always put plus. I just feel like that, I don't know. People get confused over where to put the negative. Just don't put a negative. Just put plus, and then whatever number that is. So negative 20 over x plus 3. We'll do another break before I do the last one, but I'm so sorry. I forgot to say something. And if you, I would 100% accept this on the test. Delta math won't though. Hold on one second. Can we go back to number 9? I apologize. I forgot that delta math does this. Whenever it's a fraction over here, look at the numbers we ended up with. Do you see 2, 4, 2, 0, 2? We don't count the remainder, but do you see all those? What will they all divide by? We don't count the remainder, but they make you reduce that. If you type this in, they'll mark it wrong. So I'm so sorry. I totally forgot that, but I remembered it in time. We're just going to need to divide them all by 2. So like this would be 1. And then what would this be? 2. I'm so sorry. I remembered though. And then this would be 1. And then this would be 1. And then again, you don't change the remainder, leave the remainder alone. So we just divided them all by 2. They just all divided by 2. Yeah, 0 divided by anything is just going to be 0. And then, so like I was filling these out. So if you wanted to try them, you could check your answers. The same thing's going to happen with number 12. Not the remainder, but do you see all of these numbers? What do these all divide by? 2. So I'm going to divide them all by 2 when I write the answer. And then again, the remainder doesn't change. No, I don't even think I put one like that on there. But on delta math, if you don't reduce it, it'll mark it wrong. Oh, wait, sorry. I didn't fix that one. That should be a 3. Go ahead.
So it's only.
Yeah, and it'll only happen if the number that's in the little box is a fraction. It'll only happen if that's a fraction. Otherwise, it won't happen. So there are times when synthetic division will not work and you have to do a long division. So let me review division with just plain numbers, like back in whatever grade you did, like 6th grade or whenever it is you did this. Let me just show you how to do one just with numbers, okay? 3 won't go into 1, right? 3 will go into 16 though. How many times? 5. So you put a 5 here and 3 times 5 is 15. Take that earbud out of your ear. And then you're going to subtract. So 16 minus 15 is 1. Do you remember what you do after that? You bring down the next number. So we're going to bring down the 3, and then it's a cycle. It's cyclic. You do it all over again. 3 would go into 13 4 times. Yeah, this is long. I'm showing you how to do it with just numbers first, and then we'll put the X's in there. 3 times 4 is 12, and then you subtract. 13 minus 12 is 1. And then it's cyclic. You do it again. Bring down the next number, which is the 4. Sometimes like people like to draw in little arrows. You can do that too, if that pleases you. All right, 3 would go into 14 4 times. Oh, well, you guys are remembering this. 3 times 4 is 12. Subtract 2. Bring down the last number. And then you do it one more time. 3 times, yeah, because 3 times 9 would be 27. So 3 times 8 would be 24. Subtract, and what's your remainder? 1. So in elementary school or whatever grade you did that, middle school, I don't remember when you did this, but you remember you would just put R1, remainder 1. Okay. So, and I'll fill out the rest. I'm just going to do one of these. Okay. Or we'll do 1 or 2. We'll see what we have time for. I'm going to go to 15. Here's why this is necessary. Because usually it's like, why on earth are we doing this? And I get you. Okay. Here's why. You can't do this as a synthetic division. Do you see with the squared in there? Because what number would go in the little box? Do you get what I'm saying? Like synthetic division won't work. Okay. Again, it looks intimidating right now because I haven't taught it to you yet. All you have to do is listen to me and pay attention. I realize this was a long block and we're kind of doing a lot. I understand. Just stick with me. I'm going to explain to you exactly how to do it. Look at the first 2 terms. I have an x squared and a 2x to the 4th. I need to turn this into this. What would I multiply by? That's the question. I want to turn an x squared into a 2x to the fourth. 2x squared. If I multiply by 2x squared, it'll turn it into that. Now here's what you do. You take that 2x squared and multiply it through all of that. It's exactly what we did with the numbers. Do you see how we did 3 times 5 and we got 15? You are just multiplying these together. This is about organization. You need to line them all up, all right? When you distribute this through there, you will get 2x to the fourth and then plus what? 4x to the third. And then minus minus 2x squared. Good. Give it a hug. And here's the tricky step. We're going to subtract it. It is subtraction. Negatives are tricky. All right, watch. What happens to the first column? 2x to the fourth minus 2x to the fourth. That will happen every time, and that's the point. You want it to go away. All right. Now, when you do the next one, it's hard. You're subtracting. It's -5 minus 4. You're subtracting. It's -5 minus 4. So it'll be -9x to the third. And then look at this one. It's 2 minus -2. It's 2 minus -2. So that'll be plus 4x squared. Bring down the next term and we're going to do it again. So if you were like, hey, I didn't get it, which is probably all of you, we're going to do it again. It's cyclic. You just keep doing the same thing over and over again. You just have to listen to me. And I know our attention span is going away. Just stick with me. All right, we're going to do it again. You're going to compare the first terms. We have an x squared. We have to turn it into a -9x cubed. What would we multiply by? -9x. And you're going to take that -9x and distribute it through there. You're just multiplying them together. So if you distribute a -9x, that will give you -9x cubed and then what? We're multiplying these right here. Look at what the ones I'm pointing to, guys. -18x squared, good. And then plus 9x. Give it a hug. And you are subtracting. That is the hardest part. Negatives are hard. If you're like, this is tough, you're right. It is. You got to work harder when it's tough. That's my pep talk. First column is going to cancel. So the next one, it's 4 minus -18. So plus 18, it'll be 22x squared. And this column is 3 minus 9. Good. Good. Perfect. -6x. You're going to bring down the -4. We're going to do it one more time. So if you were like, hey, I didn't get it, I got you. We're going to do it again. We're going to compare the first terms. You have an x squared. You want it to be a 22x squared. 22. It gets easier as you go along because you keep, what you're doing is whittling everything away. So distribute the 22. That'll be 22x squared. And then what? Look at the two I'm pointing to. We're just 44x, good. Minus, look, you guys are getting it. Give it a hug, subtract. What happens to the first column? It's gone, and what's left is our remainder. You're like, please don't make us do this again. What's left is the remainder. Just remember you're subtracting. It's -6 minus 44. -50 x. I had to count on my fingers for that one. And then this is -4 minus -22. So it's really -4 plus 22, 18. So when you tack that, I know we did it, guys. Always put plus, and it's whatever you got, -50x plus 18 over the divisor. Which part's the divisor? Good. Okay, you guys listen to me. I'm just going to do this one. It'll go quicker this time. I want to make sure you've got it. I'm sorry. I know it's like, you can write it to the Department of Education. It's part of the curriculum. I have an x squared. I want it to be an x to the fourth. What would I multiply by? X squared. Good. See how much quicker that went? Now distribute it. That'll give you x to the fourth plus 3x cubed plus 2x squared. Give it a hug, subtract. You can do it. You can do it. Pep talk. Go team. I believe in you. I get everybody through it every year. I promise it's going to be all right. Just remember you're subtracting. It's 0 minus 3. Negative 3x cubed. And this is negative 6 minus 2. Negative 8x squared. Do you feel how that went faster? It's because you guys are listening to me and you got it. Bring down the negative 2x. We're going to do it again. So compare the first ones. We have an x squared. We want it to be a negative 3x cubed. Negative 3x. Good. There we go. Distribute a negative 3x through here. You're just multiplying it together. Just distribute. Negative 3x cubed minus 9x squared. And then minus 6x. Good. You guys are getting it. Hug, subtract. Give it a hug, subtract. Subtracting is the hard part. Negatives are hard. This is negative 8 plus 9. Good. So that would just be x squared. This is negative 2 plus 6. Good. Bring down the minus 1. You're going to do one more time. You can do it. You can do it. You can totally do it. You're going to be fine. You have an x squared and you want it to be an x squared. Close. 1. Now, 1 is easy. If you distribute 1, it's all the same. So just copy that down. X squared plus 3x plus 2. Hug, subtract. Whatever you get is your remainder. You'll be finished. Do you feel how that went better that time? It did. I believe in you. You can do it. So this will be 4 minus 3. So 1x minus 3. Tack it on at the end. It goes over the divisor. I still got you with 9 minutes left at the end to like emotionally prepare for the next class. I'm going to fill in 13 and 14 so that if you do, now you're going to do homework, so I don't think you're going to do more problems. But anyway, you have 9 minutes. Have a good weekend. I hope to see you at the football game tonight. I'm going to try and be there. It depends on how easily I can get my family together. Here, I can leave it up here. I'm not shutting this off. Did you still need to see it? I'm going to fill out these two. Are you in the band? Okay.
Yeah, we're on the.
This cool.
Yeah.
Do we have to do long division or the delta?
I can't remember. I think there might be one. Is this homework 3? Yeah. They all say long division, but I don't think that you have to do. Okay, so. Okay, hey guys, in the homework, these first ones are just the graphing things. The level 1 and level 3, it says long division, but you can do synthetic. Do you understand what I'm saying? For these ones, for the level 4, that's where you're gonna have to do long division, but I only give you 2. Okay, it says long division, but you can do synthetic. The only time you have to do long division is when they throw a squared in there, because you can't do synthetic division. No, your quiz is exactly the piece of paper that I handed you.
Oh, that's what you. I'd be writing my hands. Yeah, it's so cute.
Not true. Someone catch it in. Somebody promised.
When they're a baby. We're not getting out of school, but
Wait, someone brought a ferret to school?
Yeah.
Where is that? Is that here?
Yeah.
Oh, in what room?
In the bathroom.
Oh, he's so cute. Oh my goodness. Can we bring him here?
It's a student.
Oh, that's so cute. All right.
I used to have this. They're so funny.
Tell them to bring it here. Oh.
Dude, the best thing is when stairs you can smell like
Do they like?
yeah, they like play it in.
Are you sure they like?
No.
Are they cold winter animals?
Don't have first on.
They got fur. I have chihuahuas. They're super tiny. I put their little sweaters on them when it gets cold.
My cat would get outside.
Okay.
It's like freezing.
Yeah, I feel like animals, they like think they want to go out there and then they go out and they're like, whoops.
Well, there's been like 4 times where like we wake up and
Ew, gross. Well, gotta eat, you know.